Hi, I'm Kevin Badway, and this is another Kevin's Commentary. In recent events, as we know, what happened in Florida, the tragic event that occurred with a young kid going into a school and shooting it up with an automatic weapon, and I believe it's an AR-15, possibly. But whatever the case, 17 lives have been lost. We feel the sympathy for the families and empathize with a lot of the people who have dealt with these kind of tragic stories with all the shootings, and whether they be in schools or churches and abroad. And then obviously the focus becomes, well, it's the automatic weapons. It's we gotta make tougher legislation. We got to keep automatic weapons out of the hands of the individuals. We got to ban them. We got to. It's not right. No individual civilian should be able to have automatic weapons and so forth and so on. I understand all that. But the guns is not the problem. It's not going to solve the problem. You can take away all the guns in the world. It's not going to solve the problem. People have been killing people since the day the earth was created. You know, uh, Cain slew Abel with a rock. Do we ban rocks? No, I doubt it. People used to be stoned to death. We don't ban stones. People have been stabbed. We don't ban knives. And if we did ban knives, what knives do we ban? And where do we draw the line with knives? If you take away all the guns in the world, people will just find other ways to kill people. That's what they do. It's not about mental illness, though that's what they want to try to do, is they want to try to lump all criminals who commit crimes, they're mentally ill. It's the easy way to sugarcoat everything. Let's just say they're mentally ill and we'll turn society against them, and we'll get more money and funds to fund the things on mental illness to help people who are mentally ill, and will draw attention to mental illness by just giving a label to everybody who commits a heinous act. Being a person who's been diagnosed with bipolar 2 and chronic depression, I am technically considered mentally ill. Gee, because I get angry. Gee, because I get sad every now and then. To me, those are normal traits, but that's what I've been diagnosed with. And I look back and I go, well, I do struggle in life and I do have my issues, but I haven't gone out and killed anybody. But if we ban all the weapons and we took all the guns out of the hands of the civilian, it wouldn't matter. People would just find other ways, and one of the ways is, hey, they'll build bombs. Remember Timothy McVeigh? Remember the federal building? I'd rather take my risk with a kid coming in with an automatic weapon and killing 17 people than pulling up a truck with enough bomb material to decimate an entire block. 17 people or 300. The issue is not the guns. The issue is our system that has created this environment that has allowed people to act or react somewhat inappropriately, I guess, for lack of a better word, because they're angry. They're angry with the way things are going in this country. We don't know how to deal with anger. They're not teaching that in school, are they? No, they want you to learn false history. They want you to learn about things that make you want to be a patriot. But they don't want you to learn the harsh realities and truths of how to deal with your life as you grow up. I thought when going to school, I thought it was supposed to be something that you go to so you learn how to interact with others. And it's not just about learning what's in a textbook, but it's, preparing you for how to work in a job environment, how to deal with people. I'm sure there's a lot of kids who have been bullied who would say, that's not what I'm learning. I'm either learning to go hide in a closet, or I'm learning how to come out like a dog that's been backed up against the wall and feels like I've got no other choice but to do something. And that might either be commit suicide or commit a horrendous act where they're going to take a lot of people. I find it interesting, side note, that with police killing unarmed citizens, whether they be black or white or homeless or male or female, regardless of who they kill, unarmed citizens, mind you. Unarmed citizens. But a lot of it, what we hear is about black unarmed citizens, right? Now think about this. A black unarmed citizen gets pulled over in their car, apparent traffic violation, gets asked for their ID, reaches for their ID, and is shot to death in their car. The officer's only excuse is, I thought he was going for a gun. You asked him for his ID. So what is he supposed to do? Just sit there and go, I ain't moving. Because any act I do, you're going to misjudge me and shoot me and kill me because you do not value my life. A lot of black people feel that way in this country. And it's sad that in 2018, they still feel that way. That people still perceive them that way. And then racial tensions get boiled up again and heated and arguments are over. But I find it interesting that an unarmed black citizen can get shot and killed by local law enforcement multiple times. Or get dragged out of their car and beaten to a bloody pulp. But a white kid goes into a school with an automatic weapon and kills 17 people. And there's not a bruise on him. They treat him with kid gloves. No pun intended. So who's really sick in this society? The kid with the gun that shoots 17 people? Or the system that allows cops to get away with cold-blooded murder? You, as an individual citizen of the United States of America, need to protect your Constitution at all cost. Because when they take your rights away, it's going to be like George Orwell predicted. Maybe you should read the book or see the movie, 1984. It may seem conspiracy-oriented, it may seem whatever, but it's trying to give you an idea that if citizens don't do anything to protect their rights, you will be basically mice. You will be corralled. You will be told what to do, when to do, how to do it. And that's not what our forefathers had envisioned when they came up with the Constitution of the United States of America. And I suggest every one of you read the original Constitution before many more amendments and things get changed. They put a lot of things in there for your benefit, not the government's. They felt that if the government was doing you wrong, you had the right to stand up against it. You had the right to fight what you thought was tyrannical. But many of you are just, oh, hey, this is what we need, because you have been corralled in your mind. You've been tricked by believing on what the news media puts out there. And then you say, we need more gun control. We need more legislation. The NRA is not the bad guys. The people who own guns are not the bad guys. The bad guys are those who are either sick in the head or those who are in power who want to take away your rights, because one day, and I hope I'm wrong, but one day, if the government ever decides to place this entire nation under martial law, and it's possible, there's nothing you'll do or be able to do to fight back. You can't fight back people breaking into your homes with a pellet gun or a paintball gun or a knife when you're staring down the barrel of an AR-15. Not by one, not by two, but an entire platoon that have broken into your home and taken it over for whatever reason. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to make you paranoid. I'm just saying you need to wake up and pay attention to what's going on. It's not that we do not feel sympathy for the families who have lost loved ones due to gun violence. We understand. And if your argument is, well, the police need military weapons because they have to fight the gangs that have military weapons, well, where do you think they get them from? Remember Prohibition? When they outlawed alcohol? You want to give another way for the mafia to be able to come back into power and be as strong as they were during the 50s and 60s and 40s and 30s? Ban weapons. And I guarantee you, there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of weapons, a lot more weapons than they would have got if they would have been able to do it, try to do it legally. Think about that. You're going to have a lot of people trying to be Robert De Niro, you know. And that's what we don't need. But it'll happen. Mark my words. That's it for Kevin's commentary. I expect a lot of feedback. I understand that some of you are going to be angry and give me some sad stories about loved ones that were lost due to violence. But I hope that you listen to what I said and realize that guns don't shoot themselves. And we need to be able to protect ourselves as a society. As technology increases, we need to increase our ability to be able to defend ourselves against those so that we're not outgunned or outmanned by any kind of form of tyranny or terrorist. Thank you for listening and have a blessed day. Take care, and thank you for listening. Back at you.